Alright guys, what's up? It's Limitless again. So, I'm getting into, doing this story time thing for y'all. Sometimes, there's just no quality content that I want to put up for some games, but I can always put up something to entertain, so. What I wanted to get into today was, believe it or not, I grew up in the same neighborhood, literally just a couple houses apart. There were 2 different Karens in my neighborhood. That's right, guys. So go ahead and like that video. Feel free to subscribe if you like. And if you don't, well then I guess you're going to get double teamed by a couple Karens. Just the way it is sometimes, guys. Anyway, so I'm just going to refer to them in the future as Little Karen and Big Karen. And yes, there was in fact a difference in size for sure, but they both definitely rocked that "may I speak to your manager" haircut. They had the attitude to boot, and neither one was afraid to scream at anybody. Lucky me. I was like, what, we moved out here when I was really little, like 3 years old, and I grew up with them for the next like decade with both of them there. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Big Karen. So Big Karen, she actually worked at my school, my elementary school, when I was a kid, and for many years after too. But she always had a chip on her shoulder because she kind of failed at what she wanted to do in life. She wanted to be a teacher and all that, but she couldn't pass all the certifications, everything like that you need for, I guess, just an elementary school teacher. Like, I mean, what are you gonna do? Teach us a little bit about English, a little bit of math, spelling. Like, I don't know what's so hard about that. Like, obviously there's schooling and all that, and I've been through college myself, so I know plenty about all the different kinds of things they offer and stuff like that. So as far as I can see it, maybe she just didn't try hard enough, because she never mentioned having any student loans or anything like that, but she did always have something to say about her life. And as all Karens are, they just kind of expect you to listen to whatever they say, whether they're telling you to do something or not. So anyway, this is one day. I'm out there in like 3rd grade, little Limitless, just, running around, hanging out, having a good time with his friends and all that stuff. And, it's a classic kind of school, there's no running in the halls, walk single file, that kind of thing. I don't know, I guess maybe they're worried about losing the kids. But yeah, single file was a definite thing. And you know how it was, like, I've always been athletic and smart, so I was always, fairly competitive. So there was a friend of mine in class, and we kind of left the rest of the crowd behind, because, I mean, big deal. There were 2, I'm going to say this with air quotes, but teachers, because she wasn't a real teacher. She was, as she called it, a paraprofessional. And if you said anything else, she would basically verbally rip your face off. Anyway. So, big brain IQ, she's out there just IQ 500. She decides, hey, you know what? These 2 kids are power walking. They're not running in the hallway, but it's still got to be an infraction, right? So she decides, I was the first one, and by that I mean the 2 of us. I was the one in the lead, and we were just on our way to lunch that day. And so she decides, you know what, I'm just going to be a big brain today. I'm going to go ahead and grab him by the back of the shirt so hard that it chokes him and knocks him over. Like, let's see, how old was I? Yeah, I was like 8. Like, come on. I don't know, for whatever reason, Big Karen just thought it was the greatest idea in the world that, hey, you're power walking. You're not running the hallway. I guess it's not exercise, it's some infraction to rules that aren't there. So, not the guy behind me, but because I'm first, she just decided to grab me, or maybe it was because she lived near me or something like that. Our families knew each other, stuff like that. Everybody knew she wasn't a nice person. I mean, she is Big Karen after all. There's never been a nice Karen in my experience, and anybody else's experience I've ever known. But yeah, she did it hard enough to leave marks. Like, with the shirt like ripping into my neck. So it was, you know, an interesting time. Like, when I was growing up, my dad was working a lot, so, you know, we called it going over the road because he wasn't home. So we made good money and all that, so it was all good. Just a second. What's that? Okay. Good for you. Anyway, like I was saying. So my dad, he worked a lot and all that. My mom called my dad to find out what she should do after, you know, I came home with like marks on my neck and stuff from where, you know, she grabbed the back of my shirt so hard and basically almost like ripped me off my feet. Because let's just say Big Karen was in a weight class of her own. You know, I'm not going to get any more mean than that. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that. But yeah, that's how she was. So she had not a truck or a car or anything. She had this like monster van, and she always stayed a little bit late because she's a paraprofessional. You know, she's got to do stuff here and there to help out the real teachers. So my mom called my dad when he got off work, and he told her, hey, you know what, that's not okay, that's assault, you know, go ahead and call the police, call the principal, let them know what's going on. So she did just that. And it was the funniest thing, because nothing ever really happened in my neighborhood, you know, nothing like major, you know, people didn't really run by with like, you know, huge stereos and all that, you know, nothing going too crazy. You know, it wasn't gonna like blow the glass out of your house or something like that. But also, the next thing you know, my mom did some calling and all that. I didn't really listen to it. I was a kid, you know, I just wanted to go play games and do stuff, you know, so that's what I was doing. And the next thing you know, we hear like tires squealing and everything. Apparently, the police had gone to my school to talk to her about assault charges and everything like that. And so she comes with her big van, just squealing into the cul-de-sac. We had never seen her burn rubber in our neighborhood like that before, but I mean, I'm surprised, you know, she came with such a force that I'm surprised she managed to get into her garage, you know, like, the way she was speeding, I don't know, she must have had some kind of, you know, super range on her clicker for the garage door or something like that, but she managed to get in there, and she refused to talk to us until the next day when I got back to school. And then we had to talk with the head principal. Get this, Big Karen here, her job's on the line, she knows she's in trouble. So what does she do? Nope, she doesn't, may I speak to your manager at all? No, she tries to make herself out to be like the good guy, like she didn't do anything wrong at all. So she's already in there when I get to the principal's office. I'm a kid, you know, I'm 8, I'm wondering what's going on, so, because, you know, I never really did anything bad, you know, so, she's in there, you know, about to big brain this up, and, like, the principal, you know, he can still see, like, my neck's a little bit red and stuff, you know, and so he asked for my side of the story, and so I told him exactly what happened. You know, I was cool about it. I'm just a kid, you know. It's like, but I'm a boy, you know. It's like I'm not gonna be sitting there whining about stuff. But at the same time, I didn't like her. Nobody liked her. So I went ahead and I told the story to the fullest extent that I possibly could, without exaggerating anything, but definitely without leaving anything out either. And so she realizes there's not much of a defense she can put up there. You know, you can see the marks and all that, but she's going to claim that she still didn't do it. So she's like, well, that's not what I did. I was like, oh, well, what did you do? You know, like, please tell me, what did you do to this 8-year-old that's out there just power walking to lunch with a friend, still at the head of the line where teachers can see us and all that. And she's like, oh, well, I'm sorry that's what you thought this was. And she reaches down to my right knee and she just taps it lightly with her hand 3 times. I'm like, seriously? You grabbed the back of my shirt, you know, almost ripped the darn thing. You know, like yanking a kid off his feet just about. And you're gonna claim that That's what you did? You just tapped his knee like that? Like, it's all good? No, no, no. That's not what's up. So, find out later that my mom and dad went ahead and dropped the charges and all that. They just wanted to scare the crap out of her, and scare her they did. But after that, she never really had a friendship with us again. And I guess I should say I'm using that term loosely, because friendship, it was like they'd pay her to also take me to the same place she was going. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. They come literally like 2 or 3 doors down and just pick up a kid and go to the same place where she works. And that's all she had to do. They paid her $20 a week. Like, I mean, Big Karen, she was really something else, you know, and she's something else in a different way from Little Karen. But I mean, that pretty much wraps it up, you know. I could go into more history and all that, but I'm not gonna. So basically, she almost got arrested. Alright guys, so I guess in the future, that means, you know, don't be big brain 500 IQ and try to, you know, assault little kids and everything as they're just power walking to lunch. Alright guys, if you liked it, you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, and God bless.